Good evening, everyone. Most of you who are here in this session might already know me, but some of you might not. So, let me begin by introducing myself. I'm Sakshi Malhotra, and I teach psychology to the senior classes in a school. I'm a master's in applied psychology from Delhi University, and I've been working in the area of adolescent mental health for about 8 years now. So, to begin with, I would like to mention that the reason I came up with the talk on finding yourself amidst chaos. The reason is that, at this time of the year, it's very important for us to address the Black Sea in which all of us are in. The Black Sea, which is uninvited, which is inhospitable, and which is difficult to navigate, which is, of course, the coronavirus pandemic. Right now, I'm sure all of us have been locked up for so many months, and we can't wait to just head out and live our lives as a normal, as a normal person would. But I feel that particularly, this particular situation is very very difficult for the adolescents, and especially those students who are in that volatile stage of transition. Some of you might be waiting to be promoted to the next semester. Some of you might be waiting for an entrance exam to crack, or maybe waiting for a job interview that probably never happened because of the lockdown. So I'm definitely, I would like to acknowledge the fact that it's a very difficult time for these students who are in the middle of this transition phase. And probably, just like a normal, regular, young child, you must have thought that, the upcoming years are going to be very, very productive. You're going to make a career for yourselves. You're going to materialize your ambitions into your perfect jobs. And a life that you expected you would get, and probably these are the only 2 or 3 years that you require to actually frame out your careers. But because of the pandemic, not only has it restricted your opportunities to grow, or probably it can take some time to come out of it. And especially if I talk about in terms of the economy, our economy is going to take a long time to heal. So and probably these 2 3 years which our economy takes to heal are the only 2 3 years which you might have required for laying down the stepping stone to your careers. And these two or 3 years probably would help you in exploring your potential and forming your identity. And I do understand that these very important critical years have been affected. So the situation might create a lot of thoughts in you, right? So, like, for example, where is my life going? Am I doing anything right? Who am I? And what do I really want? And I understand it's natural, for people to have these type of questions and to have these kind of fears, and maybe a situation of panic as well. Now, firstly, we need to understand is how this fear, sort of colors our judgment. It sort of, colors our notions of our own self, how I feel about my own self. So, on top of it, every day we hear that there are so many COVID patients who, the coronavirus positive cases are on the rise, and even as we speak, they are multiplying, by the hour. So, and of course, our mind works in mysterious ways. Whenever we hear this kind of an information, it creates a certain sense of panic. It creates a certain sense of a pattern of negative thoughts, so to say, and which might, lead you to a situation of self doubt that. What if it happens to me? What if it happens to somebody who's close to me? And all of this creates a whole situation of fear and helplessness. right? Now, when I talk about this kind of a pattern of negative thoughts that sort of blurs our self-perception. So here it becomes difficult once we form a pattern of negative thoughts. It becomes very difficult for us to look at the bigger picture, the larger picture, and as our perspective keeps on shrinking in, we sort of try and isolate ourselves, and somehow our self, amidst all of this chaos, tends to get lost. Right? So, that is what we're going to talk about. We are going to talk about how this concept of self or this identity of yours can be maintained or kept intact amidst all of this chaotic situation that we are in today. Right? So here I would also want to draw your attention to this particular story which I was reading. I'm sure you must have read it or you must have heard it somewhere, which is the Second Arrow story by Gautam Buddha. So when Gautam Buddha was talking to his disciples, he said that he asked them a question that if a person is struck by an arrow, is it painful? And of course the students said that yes, that would be painful. And then he asks that if the person is struck by a second arrow, is it even more painful? Right? Now, this is where the responses of the students varied. Some of them mentioned that yes, it's going to be much more painful, or some others said that maybe because of the previous pain, this might not, appear to be something which is very, very differential in terms of pain. So, what he further went on to highlight is that in life we cannot control the first arrow, right? So, the second arrow is in our hands. The second arrow is our reaction to the first arrow, and this is where we have a possibility of choice. So, the first arrow in this case is the coronavirus pandemic. So, of course, there are travel restrictions, there are supply shortages, all of that. And the second arrow, which is actually is in our hands, is the anxiety and the thoughts that we create for ourselves that sort of blur our self-perception. So, and of course we continuously keep worrying about our finances, about the well-being of people around us, our family members, and to a large extent this whole situation of anxiety leads to a panic only because of our own doing, because we indulge in a lot of self-analysis, we indulge in a lot of overthinking. Slowly the self-perception that we have about ourselves tends to get blurred, right? So, the first arrow, of course, is not in our hands. That is the unavoidable pain, or probably the actual, pandemic situation that we are all in. But the second arrow is in our hands. The anxiety, the fear, the pattern of negative thoughts that we create for ourselves, which blurs our own self perception, all of these things are in our hands, right? So, it's important to remember that these second arrows, which is our emotional our emotional and psychological response to the crisis, is something which is in our hands, and this can help us in broadening our mind and exploring our self-perception in a much better manner, as in comparison to the blocked sense of perception that we normally have. So, what is happening is ultimately our sense of self is sort of crippled by this fear, and it starts losing its fuel in the self tank. So, I like to believe that every individual person has a notion of their self, and you have to keep on fueling this self tank again and again, right? Which keeps on, helping your concept of self grow, your concept of self to bloom out. So, and when our self loses its fuel, it keeps on reducing its fuel, then our identity also gets dissolved. So, coming back to why I was talking about self perception and how we need to find ourselves amidst all this chaos. We need to make sure that we maintain our self identity amidst this entire chaotic situation. Um, the first thing to understand is that you need to stop running away from your fears, right? Yes, we have a situation which um, cannot be entirely controlled, but definitely can be managed. So, the first thing you need to understand is to acknowledge the fear. Stop being in denial that the fear does not exist. Stop running away from your own feelings. So, acknowledgement of the fear is the most important factor. The second important factor is responsibility for your actions. Now, when I talk about our self perception and how we view ourselves, the moment we start taking responsibility for what we are supposed to do or what I am doing even currently, that gives us the courage to own up to our responsibilities, to own up to our tasks at hand, and this ownership will help us in developing resilience. Right now, to make sure that this self tank of yours is continuously refueled again and again, you have to take up active steps. All this time people have been asking you, maybe when you were in 10th standard, people were asking you that, आगे क्या करना है? What do you want to do in life? Right? And then you went to 12th standard and again people started asking कि अब आगे क्या करना है? अब आगे क्या करना है? And finally you reached that college stage where you had probably a career set in mind. But of course, we are in this chaos right now, and probably yourself might be feeling a little vulnerable in this moment. So, now this question, आगे क्या करना है, right, can create a loop of expectations on us. And so you have your own expectations, you have society's expectations, and also our parents, right? Now, slowly, amidst this chaos, our self again starts to lose its fuel. So, in this case, it's important to understand that we need to make sure that our self tank is completely full at all times, and we keep on fueling it again and again in a variety of ways, which I'm going to talk about, of course, later on. So, when we talk about this, आगे क्या करना है, what do I have in future for me? When we finally begin to search answers to these questions, again we jump into a pool of choices which are endless. Right? Today, if I go to Google and I start looking out for a career option for myself, I don't know where I'm going to land, because sometimes too much information can also be overwhelming. Right? So now what we have to understand is this choice that we get is a double-edged sword. Now, why do I say that? Is because on one hand, this choice empowers you that, wow, I have so many opportunities, I can do so many things. And on the other hand, it confuses you. Right? I'm sure all of you have been there, and so have I. So now what is important to understand is that it's not possible to have it all. Right? I know it might sound very harsh, but that's the reality. You cannot have it all. Your Instagram or your Facebook page will constantly keep on reminding you the kind of life that the other person is leading and how it might make you feel insecure about yourself. But the grass is always going to be greener on the other side, right? But you have to realize that sometimes you might be the other side for other people. So you have to understand that you need to be happy with the kind of decisions you make, and stick by those decisions. Actually get up and perform those particular actions that make you happy, that make you refuel this self tank. And there are a lot of times we keep promising ourselves कि थोड़ा सा और टाइम मिल जाता तो मैं क्या क्या नहीं कर लेता लाइफ में, और क्या नहीं अचीव कर सकती थी लाइफ में. Right? Now that you've been gifted with that time, please do not procrastinate. This is a time to actually focus on your self identity, making sure that your self is not lost in this chaotic situation. So, it's time. It's time we remove that second arrow, which is of the emotional and the psychological crisis that we've sort of created for ourselves, and it's time to refuel our self tank. So now the most obvious question, and probably the reason why probably you're here, is to know how to refuel this self tank. Right now, I know I need to maintain my self identity. I know I need to think for myself. I need to develop skills that can make me better at my job, or probably there are certain qualifications that I would want to have. So, what is stopping you? There are many things which can cause a hindrance. So you need to make sure that you are continuously holding on to your self tank and adding the fuel that it deserves. And the first thing that you can do is use positive affirmations. Right now, what is using positive affirmations? I'm going to do it. I'm going to crack it. It's going to be a great success. Right? Self talk. When we indulge in that self talk, it helps us in improving that fuel, in increasing that fuel of our self identity. So we need to use these positive affirmations correctly, because let's face it, everybody is living in a competitive world. There will be people who will always try and overpower you, and you might not be appreciated at all times. So you need to create it for yourself. You owe it to yourself, right? So you need to indulge in the self talk which liberates you, which empowers you, which drives you into action, right? So, first thing, of course, is using positive affirmations correctly. Second is you can use this time that we have at home to identify your skill set, identify your competencies, right? So, you need to try your hands on everything. You will not know what you are good at till the time you don't invest yourself into it, right? So try out everything that's there, and even if you fail so miserably that the only way of coming out of it is success, right? So you need to make sure that you are working on your self-esteem every single day, trying to make sure that you do not reduce or lose your fuel tank. And third and very important is to eliminate self-criticism. Now, when I talk about self criticism, of course, criticism can be taken in a positive light as well. But if you feel you are the kind of person who is low on self esteem, I don't think that self criticism is going to help. In fact, it's going to fuel your lack of self esteem further. So, you have to decide, what do you need to fuel up? Do you want to fuel up insecurities, or do you want to fuel up your positive, healthy self identity? Right? And you have to be affirmative about your self-worth. A lot of times, we end up questioning ourselves. We end up saying, what am I doing? I am just lying on the bed doing nothing all throughout the day, probably just watching Netflix and chill. The whole concept of Netflix and chill, it's about time to throw it off and start working on yourself. So another important thing which can help you in trying to identify what you can do to create a self identity for yourself is to list down your qualities. Very often I do this. I ask children to sort of write down what they feel their qualities are, and what are the qualities that they feel that they can develop in future, and try and mix and match. Try asking other people what they feel about you. Maybe you might be surprised that they might feel that you have certain qualities, and according to you, you might not have those qualities at all. So these kind of things can help you in reassuring your thoughts about yourself. And the very important part of our self identity is making mistakes. Yes, Yes, you heard that right. It's important to make mistakes. It's very, very important to make mistakes. If you do not make mistakes, then the self remains in a cocoon, and we have to break it open, um, you know, throw it out open into the large, as scary as it sounds, but this is what we owe to ourselves. We need that for ourselves, right? So how do we make sure we remove that second arrow that Gautam Buddha spoke about, which is the emotional and the psychological crisis, which makes ourselves feel even more isolated? We need to ask questions to our own self. Who am I? What are my values? What is my idea of I and me? Right? What is my threshold? Now, if I talk about threshold, it means that for me, how much is too much? How much of endurance do I have? And what kind of frictions can I minimize? Right? So, when you ask these questions to yourself, your journey towards self awareness and self understanding can actually begin by refueling that self tank, which I spoke about. So now how do you decide to refuel your self tank? Of course, is in your hands. You can either let the second arrow hurt you, or remove it with all the effort and all the perseverance that you've got. Amidst all of this, if you want to protect yourself, which is getting lost in this chaos, that choice is in your hands, right?